What's up, everyone? It's me, Game Boy. Today, I'm going to read the Bible. You know, uh, because it's important. It's important for it to do that. So let's read it together. I think we're gonna read 4 pages. That's what I usually do. When I read 4 pages, and then First Samuel 30. I think that's there are 2 Samuels, right? Um, yeah, so we're in First Samuel 30, and then we're gonna go to First Samuel 31 and First Samuel or Second Sam. Wait, no, wait, that can't be right. Oh, Book of Second Samuel. I didn't even realize I was right there. So we're gonna read First Samuel 30, then First Samuel 31. Then we're going to read First Samuel. Well, I don't know what else. It doesn't. Well, I guess one, and then Second Samuel 2. Come to Ziklag on the third day that the someone tell me if I'm pronouncing this right because I've always wondered. Amalekites. Is that how you say it? Amalekites. Amalekites. Boy, I've always wondered. Had invaded come to Ziklag on the third day that the Am Amalekites had invaded the south, and the Ziklag had smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein they slew, not any either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city. Behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. and David and David's 2 wives were taken captives. Ahin Ahinoam, is that how you pronounce that? Ahinoam, the Jezreelites, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal. Am I saying that right? Right? I've always wondered. The wife of Nabal, the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people were grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David in encouraged himself in the Lord his God, and David said to what is that? Oh, Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech his son, I pray thee bring me hither the if ephod, 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 and Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David, and David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, he and and the 600 men that were with him came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed, but David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind him, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor, and they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water, and they gave him a piece of a cake of figs and two clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had never eaten no bread nor drank any water 3 days and 3 nights. And David said unto him, To whom belongest thou, and whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to Amalekite, to an to an Amalekite, came against us into our hand. Oh, I missed a part. Servant to an Amalekite, and came against us into our land. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that. Is that what that is? That what? Oh wait, I didn't gonna restart. But as he, but as his part in, I keep saying in, as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that. Does that say tarrieth? Tarrieth by stuff? They call, or I keep, they call, they shall part alike. And it was so from that day forward that he made it a stat, statute, or statute. But wait, well, I was about to say statute. I'm assuming that's a statute. And an ordinance for Israel. Ordinance? Am I even saying ordinance? Am I saying that right? Ordinance? Ordinance? I feel like I'm overpronunciating some of these. Unto this for Israel unto this day. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, Behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of the Lord. To them which were in Bethel, I thought I was about to say Bethlehem. Just it says in Bethel. And to them which were in South Ramah, and to them which were in Jeter. Again, tell me if I'm pronouncing any of these wrong. And to them which were in Aroer. I feel like I'm pronouncing these wrong, man. I just feel like it. And to them which were in Ziphmah, and to them which were in Eshtemoa, and to them which were in Rachel, and to them which were in the cities of the Yeram, Jerahmeelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Canaanites, and to them which were in Hormah, and to them which were in Chorashan, and to them which were in Atach, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men were wont, were wont. I don't think I've ever used that, heard that word used like that. Were wont to haunt. Chapter 13. Saul, having lost his army at Gilboa, I think it says Gilboa, and his sons being slain, he and his armor bearer kill themselves. The Philistines triumph over their dead bodies. The men of Jabesh Gilead recover the bodies and bury them at Jabesh. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa, 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 and the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchishua, Shua, Melchishua, Melchishua, Saul's sons, and the battle went sore against Saul. The battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword, and died with him. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain that they found, Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa, and they cut off his head, and stripped off his armor, and sent into the land of the Philistines round about, to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtarah, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan, and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh, and fast 7 days. Get my I use this as my to remember where I'm at. Bookmark, I guess you could say. Right there. The second book of Samuel, otherwise called the second book of the Kings, chapter 1. And an Amalekite brings tidings of Saul's death. David laments Saul, or laments Saul and Jonathan. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the third day that behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was when he came to David that he fell to the earth and did oh what's that? And he did obeisance, obeisance, obeisance. And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped. And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee tell me. And he answered that the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also. And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and called unto me, and I answered, Here am I. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said unto me again, Stand, I pray that thee upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and I have brought them hither unto my Lord. Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fast until even for Saul and Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger in Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the bow, the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher, the beauty of Israel is slain upon thy high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not that Gath publish it not in the streets of, what does it say, Askelon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. Yet, ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offerings, for there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil, from the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty. The bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who up on who up on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished. Chapter 2. David, by God's direction, goes up to Hebron and is made king over Judah. Abner makes Ish- Ishbosheth king over Israel. What does that say? Asahel slain, and it came to pass after that David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up into any of the cities of Judah? And the Lord said unto him, Go up. And David said, Whither shall I go up? And he said unto Hebron. So David went up thither, and his two wives also, Ahinoam the Jezreelite, like right, the Jezreelites. Let's say Jezreelites or Jezreelites. I'm like, there's two S's, and for everything else, I have never seen two S's. And Abigail, Nabal's wife, the Carmelite, and his men that were with him, did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying that the men of Judah, Gilead, the word they that buried Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, and said unto them, Blessed be ye of the Lord, that ye have shewed this kindness unto your Lord, even unto Saul, and have buried him. And now the Lord shew kindness and truth unto you, and I also will requite you this kindness, because ye have done this thing. Therefore now let your hands be strengthened, and be ye valiant, for your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Judah have anointed me king over them. But Abner, the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim, and made him king over Gilead, and over Asherites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all Israel. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and designed 2 year re, oh my gosh, bro, I am, what is wrong with me? He began to reign over Israel. He was 40. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak right now. Saul's son, oh, Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel. And does that say re-reigned 2 years? But the house, does that say re-reigned 2 years? I'm assuming that said, oh, okay, I see what it means. Okay, yeah. Because my brain was off. I think it, okay, why am I like this, man? Why am I starting to read? I've never struggled to read this before, ever. I think it's saying that he was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel and reigned 2 years. So he was king for 2 years. I think that's what it's saying. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and reigned 2 years. But the house of Judah followed David, and the time that David was king in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner, the son of Ner, and the servants of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, went out from Mahanaim to Gilead to, okay, that's not Gilead. That says Gibeon. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah. Make sure I didn't skip anything. Yeah, the son of Zeruiah, and the servants of David went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon, and they sat down, the one on the one on the one side of the pool, and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, let the young men now arise and play before us. And Joab said, let them arise. Then there arose and went over by number 12 of Benjamin, which were pertained to Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and 12 of the servants of David, and they caught every one his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side. So they fell down together, wherefore that place was called Helkath Hazurim, which was in Gibeon. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel before the servants of David, and there were 3 sons of Zeruiah, there Joab and Abishai or Abishai I and Abishai and Asahel and wait and Asahel. There are two Asahel, and was Asahel and Asahel. Wait, let me make sure there's not a difference here. Yeah, Asahel and Asahel was as light of foot as as a wild roe, and Asahel pursued after Abner, and in going he turned not to the right hand nor to the left from following Abner. Then Abner looked behind him and said, Art thou Asahel? And he answered, I am. And Abner said to him, Turn thee aside to thy right hand, or to thy left, and lay thee hold on one of the young men, and take thee his armor. But Asahel would not turn aside from following of him. And Abner said again to Asahel, Turn thee aside from following me, wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? Wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? So we'll read over this. How then should I hold up my face to Joab thy brother? And that's it. I am done reading. Oh, I love reading the Bible. One thing that I gotta say is that when you read the Bible on camera, it makes you very nervous, and it's kind of scary because you don't want to say something wrong. So you get very nervous because you don't want to say something wrong, and it's like, bro, if I mess up, because imagine you accidentally misread something, and then it's like, does that count as blasphemy or not? And I don't want to do that. So, thank you guys for watching. Uh, thank you guys for. I hope you guys read along with me. I mean, you probably didn't, but if you did, thanks. And rem- try to remember to pray before you go to bed, and before you eat breakfast, dinner, and if you are having trouble, you should, you know, and you don't got anyone to go to, pray. And I really hope that I think there's like fires in like California right now. Um Going on. I don't really know what's up with that right now, but heard about that, and I hope they're getting through it. I hope you guys will pray for them. I know I will, and I'll see you all later.